Good morning, loyal opposition. Good morning, loyal opposition. And welcome to this march that focuses primarily on the cybercrime bill. We want to thank all of you for turning out and being here. You're going to hear a lot of things along this march this morning, including some recordings of some speeches that put a serious dent in the credibility of some of our leadership and authorities. We want to thank you for being here as you engage in resistance to some aspects of this bill that do nothing but to endanger and threaten the well-being, safety, and privacy of Barbadian citizens. This is not about a party, this is about the country, and that is why we are here today. I believe I heard a former leader of the opposition in a speech that she made the point that it's about Barbados, and that is why we are here this morning. So we welcome you and thank you for your support, and we look forward to a great and safe march. What is the risk of this cybercrime bill that we march against this morning? We are enacting our civil rights. We're enacting our national rights, our human rights to march in civil disobedience. The very word civil suggests a non-violent resistance to matters of law and legislation that we deem spurious and challenging in terms of our country and our citizens. It is very clear when one reviews this bill that we have some serious legislative matters to address that I want to suggest to you this morning even threatens the well-being of our children. As you know, I am told that a third of activity on the internet is by young people. A third of the activity. So you can imagine, on the basis of this bill, if a child sends out a message over social media that intimidates you or hurts your feelings, imagine that. I can hurt your feelings this morning on this truck and nothing happens. But if I hurt your feelings on a internet communication of any sort, I can be fined up to $70,000 and or 7 years in jail. What this bill does is it criminalizes normal human conduct, normal human behavior, normal conflict, normal contesting, normal differences of opinion, because I intimidate you. As a preacher, I wonder what's going to happen when I start to preach from certain aspects of the gospel where it says such were some of us. Some of us were effeminate, some of us were this, some of us were that. And if I offend you, I can find myself fined. Imagine that. Not only that, when I'm in one of my services and you dare to record the service and put it out on the internet without my knowledge, I can be fined. That is the ridiculous nature of the content of this bill. And that is why we are out here marching today. We are sometimes puzzled to think as to who would have sat down seriously and drafted this bill. Clearly not those who had any knowledge of the Budapest Convention or matters to do with the whole aspect of cybercrime. They would have to be totally oblivious to the matters within the context of those two things of which I speak. We are addressing some clauses within the context of this cybercrime bill. And I want to read it for you. I want to read some of those clauses that you will understand why we are marching today. In section, I believe 19 or 20 of this bill, section 2, a person who intentionally or recklessly uses a computer system to publish, broadcast, or transmit data that includes private sexual photographs and videos. Well, clearly, we are going to oppose that. You have to be ludicrous to oppose something of that nature. But listen to the next one. To send repeatedly to another person data that is obscene, vulgar, profane, lewd, or indecent. Again, we would not oppose that because it is not the content that we would want as Barbadian citizens to communicate on a public platform. But when you come to the aspect of a person who intentionally uses their system to disseminate any image or words, not caring whether they are true or false. Let me stick a pen there. For the last 3 years, remember, governments in this world have disseminated information and misinformation concerning the pandemic. We were told that we would have a vaccine, and I don't know if this is being carried on YouTube or not, but I'm going to use the word. We were told that if we got the vaccine, you won't catch the disease. That was a lie. We were told that if you took the vaccine, not only would it prevent you from contracting it, but it would prevent the spread. That too was a lie. We were also told if you take the second booster, and the third booster, and the fourth booster, then you'd be okay. No, AstraZeneca and Moderna and Pfizer have now publicly admitted to the entire world that their vaccines will cause serious health issues in the lives of people, to the point of causing women not to be able to have pregnancies and give birth, changing the entire process of a woman's menstrual cycle. These are facts. You cannot deny it. So if I'm correct, the biggest liars, the biggest spreaders of information and misinformation were governments, because we now know from the experts that what they were saying was a lie. Now, that is on the internet. According to this bill, if I truncate that and share that, I can be fined $70,000 or find myself in jail for 7 years. What insanity is this? That can't be nothing short of insanity. That is what the bill has to say. I'm reading it to you. Come on, phone, like that. So you can see what's going on. Whether true or false causes or is likely to cause a subject, a person, listen, to ridicule, contempt, or embarrassment. Darling, I don't like the dress you're wearing.
I don't care.
You straps too thin. I just embarrassed her. So what? She gonna find me? Huh? I gonna pay $70,000 now or go to jail for 7 years because I embarrassed her? What foolishness is this I'm hearing? Alright, so you gotta know what's going on for far too long. You see, the problem is that over the years, only governments have had the authority to spread information. And we have to depend on them. We don't need to do that anymore. We now have the internet. We can do our own research. We can now do our own research. We can now go all the way to the European Union. And the European Union, they're another bunch. The World Health Organization, they're another bunch. And we got them coming down here, opening up things, and we rubbing up alongside of them as if they're people that we have a right to be connected with for legitimacy. Let me tell you something. There's a Beijing in this square right now, in this market, that does not have the legitimacy and right to be a Bahraini citizen. You don't need nobody rubbing up next to you to make your legitimacy as a Beijing authentic. You can do that all by yourself. Ain't that right, my brother? You can do that all by yourself. We don't need people to come in here and authenticate us. We don't need people to come in here and authenticate us as to who we are. And I'm going to ask you to look in the mirror and see what image you see. And it is time as Barbadians we do that. We are not here subject to a single government. The people of this country, when we became a republic, governance was by the people, of the people, and for the people. When we ask anything concerning the leasing of the airport to the Saudi Arabian government and the Chile government, with a 30-year moratorium on it, then we don't begin to make money from it as a country for the next 30 years. Tell me what is going on in the Scotland district when a certain international country, and I'm being very diplomatic, I'm being very diplomatic. A certain international country is going to be taking control of some of our territory. And we can't send that information out because this cybercrime bill prohibits that. You can't do that. You can't share that information. Well, my friend, that ain't going to work in Barbados.